Because believe me, this is the dance.
Extreme Championship Wrestling first burst onto the pay-per-view scene on April 13th, 1997, live from the ECW Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. At the time, WCW and the then WWF were duking it out to become the number one promotion for wrestling fans' attention. But neither would change the landscape of professional wrestling or capture the fans' hearts quite like ECW. In this list, we will be ranking our top 8 best ECW pay-per-views, leaving out the WWE-produced shows and later ECW specials run by TNA. So here are the top 8 greatest ECW pay-per-views of all time. Number 8. Heatwave 2000. On July 16, 2000, from the Grand Olympic Auditorium in Los Angeles, California, Extreme Championship Wrestling would run its last ever Heatwave pay-per-view. The event was headlined by a World Heavyweight Championship Stairway to Hell match, in which Just Incredible defended his title belt against the innovator of violence, Tommy Dreamer. The event was marked with controversy due to an attempted disruption by Rob Black's Extreme Pro Wrestling. Before the main event started, XPW stars that had purchased tickets would flip their shirts inside out, revealing XPW logos, causing Tommy Dreamer to leave the ring, with many ECW wrestlers running out to fight the XPW invaders. This was not part of the show, and the XPW crew would quickly be ejected from the building. Number 7. Guilty as Charged 1999. On January 10, 1999, at the Millennium Theater in Kissimmee, Florida, ECW would present Guilty as Charged. In the main event, the World Heavyweight Champion, the franchise Shane Douglas, would defend his title belt against the Human Suplex Machine Taz. At the time, Douglas had held the title for the longest in ECW's history, a 406-day reign. The main event would draw some criticism from journalists due to the match not delivering, as it was largely a brawl through the crowd, and having a screwjob finish with Sabu attacking both men at the end, leaving Chris Candido to turn on Douglas, did not help the matter. However, standout matches on this show, such as the ECW World Television title match between The Whole Effin' Show, Rob Van Dam, and Lance Storm, as well as a fantastic match between the Japanese buzzsaw Yoshihiro Tajiri and the insane luchador Super Crazy, would make this an awesome event to behold. Number 6. November to Remember 1999. On November 7, 1999, from the Burt Flickinger Center in Buffalo, New York, ECW put on their November to Remember. In the main event, a 6-man tag team mystery partner match, seeing a returning Sandman who would join Tommy Dreamer and Raven as their mystery partner to take on the Impact players Just Incredible and Lance Storm, with Rhino earlier being revealed as their mystery partner. This show would see an incredible match between the ECW World Heavyweight Champion, Mike Awesome, and Masato Tanaka, that many consider to be the best of Awesome's career in ECW, and also a great match between ECW World Television Champion, The Whole Effin' Show Rob Van Dam, and the Human Suplex Machine, Taz. Number 5. Hardcore Heaven 1997. On August 17th, 1997, from the War Memorial Auditorium in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, ECW would present its second ever pay-per-view event, Hardcore Heaven. This event drew massive attention to ECW due to the co-promotion by the then WWF, who would send Jerry Lawler to ECW, feuding with their biggest babyface, the innovator of violence, Tommy Dreamer. The match included a shock appearance by Jake the Snake Roberts, with the classic ECW Lights Out moment. Taz and Chris Candido had a solid match for the ECW World Television Championship. The Whole Effin' Show, Rob Van Dam, and Al Snow would take each other to the limit, and of course, the main event, 3-way dance for the ECW World Heavyweight Championship, seeing Sabu defending his title against Shane Douglas and Terry Funk. Douglas would go on to win the title, becoming the ECW World Heavyweight Champion for the third time. Number 4. Anarchy Rules 1999. On September 19th, 1999, from the Odeon Sports and Expo Center in Villa Park, Illinois, ECW would present its first ever Anarchy Rules event. Before the main event, Balls Mahoney knocks out Johnny Smith with a chair shot, leaving Rob Van Dam without an opponent, and ultimately replacing him to take on the ECW World Television Champion. This show would see Taz lose his ECW World Heavyweight Championship in an impromptu three-way elimination match after challenging Mike Awesome and Masato Tanaka. Fans at the time knew that Taz had just signed to the then WWF, and this match was booked perfectly to try and stop fans from turning on Taz. Taz would be eliminated first, leaving fans to speculate who would become the new champion. Mike Awesome would then go on to win his first ECW World Heavyweight Championship in yet another classic with then FMW World Heavyweight Champion Masato Tanaka. The match of the night would go to Super Crazy, Yoshihiro Tajiri and Little Guido in yet another three-way dance, showcasing just how incredible the undercard of ECW was at the time. Number 3. Living Dangerously 1999. On March 21, 1999, from the Convention Hall in Asbury Park, New Jersey, Extreme Championship Wrestling would present Living Dangerously. This event kicks off with yet another great match between Super Crazy and Yoshihiro Tajiri, and continues at a breakneck speed, delivering an amazing event from start to finish. Highlights include New Jack taking on his former gangster tag team partner Mustafa, who recently reunited with Jack only to turn on him, setting up this brutal match. Sid saves Spike Dudley and absolutely demolishes the Dudley Boyz, only to turn on Spike in classic Sid fashion and destroy him too. An ECW television title match between Rob Van Dam and Jerry Lynn that all wrestling fans need to watch, in which Rob Van Dam and Jerry Lynn take each other to the absolute limit, only for time to expire. The match then gets 5 more minutes to reach its epic conclusion. Of course, the fans love it, and it's easy to see why. The main event is a unification match in a Falls Count Anywhere epic between ECW World Heavyweight Champion Taz and the FTW Champion Sabu. Another classic in this rivalry between these bitter enemies. This match features amazing storytelling. Sabu is competing with a broken jaw and refuses to allow the match to end, even throwing out the towel his manager, Bill Alfonso, throws in numerous times. In the end, Taz picks up the win, unifying both titles, and gets on the mic telling Sabu that he gains more respect for him every time they wrestle, leading to a great moment with both men shaking hands. Number 2. Barely Legal 1997. On April 13, 1997, from the world-famous ECW Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Extreme Championship Wrestling would present its first ever pay-per-view. This now legendary event was featured in the documentary Beyond the Mat. In the lead-up to Barely Legal, ECW wrestlers would appear and have matches on Raw's War. On the March 10th episode of Raw, along with some ECW matches, the WWF held The Great Debate between Jerry Lawler and Paulie Dangerously to hype the pay-per-view. This little talked about shoot between Heyman and Lawler would help boost interest in ECW on a global level. The pay-per-view opened with the Eliminators, John Cronus and Perry Saturn, taking on the Dudley Boyz, Bubba Ray and Devon, for their ECW World Tag Team titles, seeing a title change and starting the show off strong. Rob Van Dam and Lance Storm would have an incredible match, and this event would also showcase Japanese promotion Michinoku Pro Wrestling in an exciting 6-man tag match that the fans absolutely ate up. Taz would beat Sabu in a match the whole pay-per-view was centered around. This clash between the two was over a year in the making, with Taz calling out Sabu multiple times. When they finally meet, this match delivered and then some. The two absolutely beat the crap out of each other in this epic near 20-minute encounter, and sets up what will become a great rivalry for years. The double main event sees the legendary hardcore pioneer Terry Funk take on the Sandman and Big Stevie Cool. the winner of which will go on to face Raven for the ECW World Heavyweight title. After an intense 20 minutes, the Funker would emerge victorious, only to battle with Raven for yet another 8 minutes. Raven immediately bloodies Terry, but Terry won't back down. Towards the end of this match, Tommy Dreamer gets revenge on Big Dick Dudley, pushing him from the Eagle's Nest through several tables. Then, Tommy Dreamer hits the ring to lay out Raven with a DDT, helping his mentor Terry Funk become the new ECW World Heavyweight Champion. Number 1. Heatwave 1998. On August 2, 1998, from the Hara Arena in Dayton, Ohio, Extreme Championship Wrestling would present one of the greatest wrestling events of all time, Heatwave. This event had everything going for it. The booking leading up to the whole event was an absolute masterclass. Almost all the matches delivered and the crowd was hot, pun intended. The opening segment is hilarious before the show even starts, setting a fun tone for the matches to come. Just Incredible has a fantastic match with Jerry Lynn that leaves you really wanting more from these two and really showcases how damn talented both of these men were. Chris Candido takes on Lance Storm to end the feud between these former tag champions. Leading up to this event, Storm walked out on Chris during a match, causing Candido to get an ear injury and have to wear protective headgear. Another great match, and we haven't even scratched the surface of Heatwave 1998. Masato Tanaka would then beat Mike Awesome in another incredible match between the two. You always know you're in for a treat when these guys clash, and once again, this was a showcase of why they are dream opponents and bitter rivals. In what can only be described as a dream match, the ECW World Tag Team Champions, Rob Van Dam and Sabu, defended against the FMW's Hayabusa and Jinsei Shinzaki. Hayabusa appearing in America was rare. In fact, this was the second and last time since Terry Funk's WrestleFest fans stateside would get a chance to see the Japanese legend, and he did not disappoint one bit. The matchup wasn't perfect, but delivered in all the right ways, making it an instant classic. Then comes the Falls Count Anywhere match for the FTW title between Taz and Bam Bam Bigelow. The last time these two wrestled, they ended up falling through the ring, and this time it's through the entrance ramp they go crashing. Another fantastic match on the Heatwave card. The main event was a 6-man tag team street fight, seeing Spike Dudley, the Sandman, and Tommy Dreamer take on the Dudley Boyz of Big Dick, Bubba Ray, and Devon Dudley. Leading up to this, there was a series of single matches to see which team would get to choose the stipulation. Big Dick defeated Spike to give the Dudley Boyz the victory, choosing the Heatwave match to be a street fight. This matchup was a bloody brawl with some great moments to finish off the show perfectly. But let's not forget New Jack cleaning house after the match to get some revenge on the Dudleys and Jack Victory, who had interfered earlier, closing out ECW's best pay-per-view strong. Do you agree with this list? What are your favorite ECW pay-per-views of all time? Let us know in the comments. And from all of us here at Wrestle Savage, thanks for watching and stay savage, wrestling fans.